anybody that's walking up to it.
It's
If you want a
actually-
copy,
it's a portrait page.
you select copy, all right?
And it's one
And
of
then
the
you'll see the
portrait
screen
pages that
appears.
is
It's
the
very
entire
easy,
page.
very user-friendly. It's gonna tell you right across
The girls
the
are,
paper
pictures
sizes that are,
in there,
you know,
but the
available
names
in the
are
unit.
wrong.
Now, I was just at the high school and they said they do a lot of 8.5 by 11 inch. So
Right.
when we're talking about a 40 and a 50 a minute machine, this is a 40-minute machine.
I remember it was
We
kind of where
really,
they are, and I'm
you know,
thinking that
we
they
really
are
want to go with
page
4
that
trays
is the entire
because
page. It's
that
just
eliminates a
like the
lot
portraits,
of,
probably
you know, putting paper in, taking paper out, and opening and shutting, because then you'll have access for all 4, as you can see, 8.5 by 11 inch. You could have one be legal,
Let me talk to
because
the
there'd be
girl
some
that did
cases
your
for
book
that,
with
or even
me
11 by
and
17.
explain
That's
to
2
her
8.5,
exactly
you know,
what
this
that is. So what it
the
is
larger
that
ledger
you would
size.
just send me that crack
But what
and
happens
we would
is,
put it in
if
there.
for an example, if one tray is depleted, it automatically go down to the next tray, so you don't have to worry about that. So
And
that's a
do
plus
all
for you
every
too.
single
It's all
book.
about saving you time.
So when you said
First copy speed,
75,
you'll see that it's,
that's
I
how
mean,
many
it's,
we
I don't know whether
ordered,
you've used it, because there's been a lot of copies on it. You'll see it's very
Pretty
quick,
sure.
and at 40 a minute. But getting back to copies, so here you are. This is going to show you just a quick reference of what, how much paper's in it. Like you can see this is full. These are empty, so
I think
we
that's
haven't
what
added,
said.
so you can
know,
even
it's
look
like
at it.
$25 for
One thing that we're going to be
75.
doing a little bit differently here, that we're talking with the district on, and that
And let me
is
talk to her and
card
tell her
authentication,
that's what I found out. I
so
kinda
that
feel
at
bad that we
every
missed
device, wherever you
But,
go, you could
to be
either
honest with you,
use
the
like
girl
a
looked
proximity
like
card, and it would sit
Girl, I
right
thought
here,
she was when
and
I
you
was
just
putting the names
slide your card in, and it says, okay,
And we
I
had
am
another
so-and-so,
teacher
I'm
that
authenticated
looked at the
because we
pictures
mirror
just
your
like a
Active
day or two
Directory.
ago and brought it to
So
my
I
attention.
know the big
I'm
concern
positive
in the
everybody
school
else is
previous
doing it.
years was
So let
security,
me
security,
just
security.
run that by her
You know,
and just see
especially
what
when
she
it comes
thinks
to
we should
email
do.
and that
You
type
would
of
just
thing.
send
Copying's
us
a little
that
bit
sheet,
different,
correct?
but email,
And we
you know,
would
they
just
want to
peel
know,
off
hey,
the
Yeah.
sticker and
is that
put-
legit?
I guess it would
Exactly.
be a
And what are they
picture itself.
sending? You know, we have to be concerned with that. So now
Right.
that's why we work
Okay.
with your Active Directory.
Okay.
Somebody leaves, immediately
Right.
they're taken off, can't have access.
Right.
As soon as they start, they immediately have access.
I'm sure it is.
So it can be with a card reader, or it can be with like a 4-digit PIN number. Could be the last of your social,
then
last
just
4.
let it go
you know, whatever.
and print
You'll see that this automatically went back.
Apology or
We
something.
suggest that you do that because there's a lot of users, especially when you
But
have
I
your
wouldn't
breaks.
know that I
Right.
talked to
Teachers need fast, quick, you know, on back to the classroom. So we can adjust that, we can lengthen it, we can shorten it, whatever you want to do, what works out for you. Here's your reduction and enlargement, again, pretty self-explanatory. Duplexing, single side, two-sided, you know, very easy, just select what you want. Your finishing is down here.
It's not like one girl's on one page and one girl's on another page, they are.
I don't know if we're
right
using a
above
lot of
each other.
finishers, but when we work with a unit like this, we suggest a finisher, because then you'll
Right.
have
I just
your,
have the names
you know,
wrong.
you can do your stacks, you can do your collation, very easy. And everything I'm talking to you about a copier, you can still use it as a printer.
Right.
It would only be in your print drivers, and you know how that works too. So
And
you
see,
would
when
just
you
go in your
print those, when I type
preferences,
in those names,
select
it's so
finishing,
tiny.
and then, you know, staple, and you can decide where you want.
About typing in
Love
the
your
names.
dimples.
And I don't know how we missed it ever, but we were under.
I have a niece
the
that has
gun to
dimples,
get
and I always
in
go
there,
to
so.
them. I can't get my finger out. I always look for that. I mean, I always notice
All
it.
right, let me talk
So,
to her and
um,
tell her about that crack and peel.
This
and
shows
I'll
you,
get back to
you know,
by
where
the
your
end.
staples are, and you have different positions.
Through email.
Right.
Thank you so much
We have
for
it
calling.
defaulted to text, but again, if you have photos, things like this,
Right.
one thing too, it'll be a black and white unit, it will not be color. All the
Right.
schools will have black and white, except for certain areas that they're gonna, you know, have color capabilities. So this is your copying, pretty easy. Your quantity pad, your quantity goes right into here. Let's go back to home screen. Scanning, you're all gonna be scanning now, thank goodness. We want more scanning.
Right.
I think of the teachers, how much easier it is for them to communicate with your students, with the parents, and not one print will be made.
Yep.
You know, that saves the environment, which we all should be concerned
Okay.
about. It
That's
saves cost. A sheet of paper without any print on it is about half a penny. I mean, that's, and then the trees, I mean, we could go on and on and
Yeah.
on. So
Waste
scanning is your friend. So we just set Jackie up right now because, you know, I just know her email address. We can set up anybody else too.
I need to be set up.
Okay, we're gonna
So we
set
can
that up
come up
before
and
we
do that.
leave.
Okay.
But so when she's ready to scan again. She could use her card, or she could put her code in, and it's going to say, okay, yes, I know who you are. You're Jackie Davis. You're authenticated. You are an employee. So all she has to do is select this, and then place how many that she wants. It'll do two-sided. It'll do, it defaults to color. So everything is color scan. You can make it black and white if you want. We've defaulted this to PDF, but you can do TIFF images as well. And then you can also, you have your, here's your scan original. You can go in and change your settings. If it's a two-sided original, that's where you'd select two-sided too. So we'll go back. So anyhow, then you press that. Again, she would just want one. And now you'll see the light goes on. It's already done. It's already, when she comes in, there's going to be a few tests on her thing. So, I mean, that's just how quick and easy it will be.
Easy.
Very easy. And that's the whole thing. It can't get much easier than that. So we're going to add your address too before we leave. Back to the home screen. Again, when you walk up to it, that's how it's going to look. So it's going to, you just go to wherever area you want. Printer, of course, with authentication, when you want to release your jobs, it'll automatically release them when you put your code in.
Did you know it was color?
Yes.
She did. Okay.
My concern is how long we're gonna have this, when is this going
Yeah.
away?
2 weeks.
Do we,
Yeah. So anyhow, scanner. So there's your printer. So when you select printer, your jobs that are sitting here will appear.
Okay.
And then you can release it. Or another thing that's kind of nice is you can delete that job. For some reason, if you don't want to print that job, there was a mistake, or I didn't, it wasn't right, you can delete it from here. So it eliminates wasted print too, which is also nice.
Okay.
Another great feature is when you want those jobs, just your jobs you're not going to be looking for everybody, going through different things. So another thing that I like about having a finisher is we can set this up so that copy jobs come here, print jobs come here, so you're not trying to find where they're different at.
That makes
So
sense.
that's why you have different areas too. And we just program it based on each individual school and what they like. There's a lot of tailoring that we can do based on your particular needs. This does have a fax in it. We don't have, a drop right now, but faxing would work just like scanning. And the fax will be up in the front, just like it is now on your multifunction device. Document servers. I don't know whether you're familiar with a document server or not. You are? Good.
Yeah, we used it at District 6, which is where I came from.
We're in District 6. 'Cause I have
Arcadia Elementary.
Oh, yes.
Paige.
Okay, yes. Oh, yeah, I do. There's backpack buddies there.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Paige and Dr. Bagwell. Yes. Yeah, so that's a nice school. Very nice school.
Yeah.
Well, you are kind of familiar then with the goes there too.
Yep.
But document server is a great. Think of document server like a file cabinet. That's how I refer to it. It's very helpful. It's originals. It could be print jobs. It could be hard copy that you find that you have to print or copy on a regular basis. You can now take it and scan it, and it'll be in the document server just waiting for whenever you want. If there was a job in there, it would show it right here. You select it, put the quantity. That way it's like you're working with the original. You're not looking for it all the time.
So especially like forms that we use all the time.
That's exactly forms.
Just automatically just do that.
Joe is the trainer, and I'm sorry I didn't introduce you folks. Joe is our corporate trainer. He's just here too. He goes into more depth with everything. And then Derek is, of course, our technician. You're probably familiar with Derek. So
Did it
those
work?
folks.
can I ask you a question?
I'll wait till she gets back. But I'm glad you're using that document server.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been here?
This is my first year.
How long were you at Acadia?
2 years. Yeah.
That's a really special
Yeah,
school.
I loved
You know
working
what?
there,
You're
but
not a
I
school.
wanted middle.
It's
a
a ministry.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
a ministry.
It definitely.
It's wonderful. 16 kids is what they've recognized that don't eat on the weekends. It's touched me big
Yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah.
So where were we at? Oh, document service. So anyhow, forms. Exactly. Now you're trying to, where do I put that form, or where is it on my desktop, or where? Now you can just come up to it, press document, and again, it can be on any device. They all work the same, and your form is gonna be there, it's gonna be the name of it. You just select it, and then press the quantity, and then it's out, and then it stays there. It's gonna stay there forever until you put in something else or change it or whatever. So that's something we'll definitely talk about when we get more, and that's Joe's thing when he comes back in. And he spends time at every school, and again, tailoring it to your specific needs.
Right.
Back to the home screen. You can see these are just the hard keys too, but you'll want to use this. It's just,
Yeah.
it's so much easier.
It's cooler.
Yes, it is. Address book manager,
Bless you.
bless you.
Excuse me, thank you.
You don't have to worry about that. That's something that
Right.
we can set up. It's just showing on the screen and we can take it off. You can also, and I'll have Joe speak to this. We were just at the high school, and we were talking if there's a particular job that you do on a regular basis that maybe is, it could be a card stock, or it could be a label, and you need a certain quantity, and that the attributes of the job don't change. You can actually store that on the unit with like a little bubble with your name on it, with the name of the job. So it's kind of nice. So again, it's not your day-to-day stuff that you
Right.
do, but those special, maybe you do it once a quarter or once a month.
Like a certificate or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, certain settings, maybe you use the bypass, maybe it's a heavier stock, maybe it's, you want certain things done with it. You can actually put a bubble, is that what you call them, bubbles?
Yes.
Where it'll say your name and then the name of the job. And all you do is press this and it keeps the attributes of the job. So
Okay,
you don't have to go through. We can set up drivers that way too. So when it's a print job, that driver will be set up and customized to you, and so it'll never change,
Nice.
on this unit too. So it's just kind of a nicety that we have available to you that we would show you when it gets to that point. These screens over here, you don't really have to worry about. Log in, log out, that's more for administrator type things. If it had a card, the card reader would be right here, and then it would have a similar message that this one does. Either put your PIN code in or slide your card. I'm hoping they go with a card reader. I think those are pretty neat. And it's kind of cool because eventually that card can be used for access. Just like our cards, we can't enter our office until we, slide our
Right.
That's
card
what we
in.
do.
That's what we have. It'd be nice if we could use the ones we
I
currently
think you
have
can.
with this machine.
Now, how come the high
It-
school didn't have that? They didn't have those. Did you see those?
As is separate, yeah. It's just
Yeah, I think they can. I think you can use those cards.
That'd be good,
It
because we
have to
couldn't
be-
with this one. You had to have they had to have their own cards, and you can
I
get your
will
picture
check on
printed,
that.
but yeah,
I
that'd
will
be
check on
perfect
that.
if we
It's a
could.
P card, so I mean, I'll ask that question.
Yeah,
Yeah, because now they didn't have any. They weren't using cards. Do you guys remember that too? Didn't she say?
they might not.
have cards?
I don't think everybody in the district does.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we were the first school that they were piloting it on.
Well, it's so easy because it's who you are.
Exactly.
Now again, people say, yeah, but I could use somebody else's card. Well, yeah, you could, but there's
Yeah,
always.
but why
Right,
would you?
right.
Okay.
Why would you want to?
Yeah,
I don't have my card with me. Can you swipe me in or But then it's also going to keep track of what you print, what you
Exactly.
copy, that type of thing, and scan, big time. So that is basically it. Of course, you can use your, somebody has something here. Oh, it's a calendar. But again, 11 by 17, face up here, just like you've been used to all along. I think that one's set up the same way. As far as user friendliness, if there is a misfeed, I would be standing here lying if I said it's never going to misfeed. You know that.
Sure.
But that is going to be cut down greatly because of the card authentication. I don't think we're going to be doing the paper thing anymore.
Right. Exactly.
So the paper will just be in the unit. So it's going to cut down on the wear and tear. It's going to cut down on waste paper because paper gets dog ear. That's the majority of the problems we
I
have.
hadn't even thought about that
Yeah.
being the issue.
Again,
Makes sense.
it does make sense, and it's just a better way, for you folks. And again, still, eliminating that waste as much as we
Right.
can. If there is a misfeed, it's very user-friendly. The panel will tell you exactly where it's at. How did you
Okay.
demonstrate that before? Did you open up one of these things, or check
Here.
status?
Check
Okay,
machine status and printing.
okay.
It'll allow you to hit the check button and it'll walk you button
Okay.
by button through.
So it's going to tell you exactly where that misfeed is located. and then what you need to do. A lot easier than the other ones.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's a very easy paper path, your cassette through the finisher.
Right.
Okay.
So that's just how it works. There's only, this area and then of course the finisher. This is your bypass.
Right.
If you do need to do what you're familiar with. And you know how when you select bypass, you can go up to the panel and then you can tell it, what size that you're working with. And again, this is just like your driver. If you're on your printer and you need some special stock from your bypass, this will be the same information that's on your driver. What size, number one. Okay, so you say 10 by 14, let's just say that. Then we say, okay, and then paper type. This is where you get into your actual, is it thick paper, is it, nobody uses transparency, do anybody use transparency?
No.
You can use those smart boards now.
Yeah.
So that'll be great. So, but thick paper. Jackie she did awards. So she had a special type, it was raised, her needs were a little bit different. This is another area where you can, if it's something that you do on a regular basis, you can program that into the machine and one of those bubble marks. So it'll keep that setting, it'll say bypass, it'll be, heavy stock, whatever size it is. So that way you don't have to go through that exercise, it's always gonna be there.
How many of those special bubbles can you have on
Oh, we
screen?
asked.
Pages.
Pages.
Oh, okay,
pages
so
and
it,
pages.
once you have so many bubbles, you just.
There'll be a
like,
down arrow that'll allow
Okay.
you to go down pages.
Yeah, you just-
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, why do they call them bubbles?
I came up
like
with bubbles
bubbles?
first time I saw it. and I think it was
what it looks
You
like. Oh,
know,
it's your-
circle is mine.
Out,
It's
or
bubbles,
whatever, but
okay.
yeah.
Well, bubbles, well, you can
I
call
like
it whatever you
bubbles
want.
better.
Bubbles.
Yeah, I
Who
like
doesn't
it better.
So fun.
I'm a mom of 3, so I love bubbles.
So anyhow, getting back, that's your bypass, and so then, that's how that works. Let's see. Finisher. Very easy, works just like the other ones too. I don't know, maybe you use staples, maybe you don't.
We do.
So that's also very nice too. Again, your finisher is used from your driver or, from a copier standpoint. But very
Can this one
quiet.
staple right now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right here.
Okay. No, I was wondering if it had staples in it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you're ready
So
to
it's
go.
already loaded.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
great.
So if you've got stuff to staple.
They didn't give us a finisher to staple with to
It's
practice.
an internal finisher.
Is this an
Yeah,
internal?
but they didn't turn it on.
I don't like, they're less expensive, number one, but when you start doing 40 and 50 a minute, you need places
Yeah.
to have the paper.
Exactly.
So there's different ways to look at it, it's less expensive, so that may look better, right? Day to day, teachers using it, I think you need substantial, especially when you're looking at 40, 50, 60 a minute machines.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then, you need places that you can, everything's not going to one spot.
Right.
Because right now you're gonna have to go through and kind of go through. So on paper, it might look better, price-wise, but realistically,
Exactly.
finisher's the way to go. For not all of them, but certain ones
But
you
certain
need it.
ones,
Yes,
definitely.
absolutely, and you can add them to all, just like you can fax and that type of thing. But this is just how it's gonna look. Pretty easy, very user-friendly. Questions for me?
How many copies does it make a minute?
This is 40 a minute.
40 minutes.
Right. It's 40, 54. 54 is our new series. You can get, if you want to, what we call a smart screen, a smart panel, where it works just like your iPhone or whatever. You can slide across rather than, that type of thing. So
Okay.
but it's, is that necessary? I don't know. It's just it's sizzle, But this is basically how it's gonna look. So this one's 40 minute.
Has cover.
Oh, sorry, that's what she's, I missed it. Are you want to do books? Okay.
There we go.
Books are here, series, you can combine, you can take double-sided. Also, these devices will actually look up for better copies of books. I don't know if that was on your older one. I mean, remember you saying they were older.
But this way you don't have to slide it over.
Right. Okay, so we'll do that. Okay, great.
No, what about,
See, there's your,
oh,
so if I set a whole book across.
okay,
the whole-
so that is like setting, okay, like a textbook or something.
Yes, ma'am, and then it'll
So
put it
it'll
front to
do
back
back-
for you.
Front, back.
If I put it on there in front.
Or it'll do, okay, one each, okay.
And does it automatically size it down to the size of the paper?
Well, it's going to an auto paper select. In other words, if I go into it and I say do one there, and I want to do that one, see it doesn't jump? It's going to read based on how far it is here and size it to the one that's next to it to where it can fit everything in it.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah.
You
So they
can
don't have to
also-
hang it off the side anymore.
But, so if I said yes there, and I notice that is too large or too small, she's recording me.
Yeah,
I can go in here into the reduce and enlarge image. So if I have a book and I know that I do that book all year long, and I found the way it comes out perfectly, right? And I love it. I'm gonna hit OK, and I do it, and I'm like, I love the way this looks, I wanna do this 4 or 5 times a week. I'll hit program there, I'll select a file, and I'll name it, whatever I wanna name it. Hit OK. It'll go black, then I'll hit program to home, or I can keep it in that menu, in that sub-menu. I'll grab it, I'll say, are you sure you want to? Hit yes, it'll go back black. And then on the front, I'll have my bubble. So
Okay.
I hit it, and it builds the whole job. I just put my book on there and hit go. I
Gotcha.
never have to remember.
Nice.
Or you have to call that teacher down the hall and go, hey, how do you do that? Can you come down here and show me in your free period? And she'll say, well, I saved you a bubble. And then, so you never have to worry about that anymore.
Okay.
Bubbles are great. Love bubbles.